guys, welcome to another episode of Coffee Talk with Mimi. As you guys can see, I have a special guest with me today. I brought my husband with me because the topic that I'm gonna discuss, I feel like he's gonna be the perfect match to talk about it. So, sans plus tarder, like we say in French, I am gonna go ahead. See, he's making me laugh. I can't even focus. But we're gonna basically talk today about growing up in a Haitian household because we've noticed from, like conversations that we've had with like friends, and we've noticed overall, this is something that, people have talked about several times, how hard it is for Haitian parents to show emotions, to tell their kids, hey, I love you, or I'm proud of you. So we're gonna talk about it because the reason why I brought him too, because I feel like we might have different opinions, we might see things differently. So I decided, why not? So I have my husband here. Talk to me about, growing up in a Haitian household, showing love. Like, why is it so hard? Or if they did show love, how did they go about it? Like, from your experience.
Hello, everyone. Well, it was a big challenge for me. It wasn't easy at all to grow in a household with both parents, my dad and my mother. Um, it, I don't even remember when was the last time my dad or my mom told me, I love you, son. But you know what? First of all, I'm not gonna blame them. It's the c'est Jean relevé. Parce que parents haïtiens et les plus vraiment pour l'exprimer, like to give you the best of them by saying, okay, they can wake up in the morning and say, hey, I make you the best breakfast you like to eat, and they can give you some money on the side to say, oh, petit garçon, qu'est-ce que ça n'a pas, ok? Ça, c'est une façon que parents ici ont exprimé leur amour. Ou du moins, si vous prendre humain dans un côté, et vous prenez le marché ensemble avant. Un peu, mon là, hey, place boy, excusez-moi. Et je me dis ça, papa me donne place boy. Et ça, c'est une façon pour l'exprimer que, like, I love you, son, well.
Okay, so basically that was my husband's way, like with his parents and his experience, the way that they used to show him is by action. So they never wanted to actually say the words. They never wanted to actually just come to him and say, hey son, I love you, hey daughter, I love you, because he has sisters too. That's why I say hey daughter. But to me, my personal opinion or my experience is that, I feel as though, as like he said, it's all about the way that they grew up. Because if they didn't grow up in an environment where, back in the days where, their mom back then were telling them, hey, I love you, or I'm proud of you, things of that nature, it will be hard for them to actually, do it the same way. It would be hard for them to come to us as kids, to say it, and with the millennials nowadays, and that's what we basically want to prevent, because we want to be those type of parents, like telling our kids, I love you. We want to be those type of parents telling our kids, hey, I'm proud of you. You did a good job. It's okay, So like little things like that, we want to make sure that we can do it with our kids. So as you can see, he has different opinion about it. Like experience. Let me not say opinion, but experience. Because with him, his parents show love by showing action.
Yes.
But for me, it's all about the wording. Because I think that when you acknowledge someone by telling them you love them, or by telling them, hey, I'm proud of you, although like it has to do with work, or it has to do with like something personal, you feel good, you feel good after somebody tell you that they love you. Or even working somewhere, like the boss is telling me, hey, is telling you, hey, you did such a good job, like things like that. It's kind of like an encouragement. It's like, they acknowledge you, and you feel encouraged, to do more, to do better, because everyone wants to hear, it's like 3 little words or 2 little words, like good job, I love you. Like, why is it so hard to say it for our Haitian parents? But again, like we said, it's like, it's all about the way that you grew up, and us too. And when I said us, not just me and my husband, us as in like everyone, I highly suggest and I highly encourage you guys to be able to, don't be afraid to hug your kids. Don't be afraid to tell your kids like you love them, like, because especially with the world that we're living in now.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, one of the things that I remember with my dad, when I was a kid, no, not my dad, I would say my mom. One of the best things that she has done for me, and I will never forget, she always told my wife about that. So she got basketball en pile. Allen Iverson te kon denye pe tennis ki te sorti. Et pour te ka exprimer love, pour te ka dire que like my son I love you. Nous descend, les montrer nous tous les deux nous descend dans l'acheter tennis. Pas jamais oublier bagay ça. But
Yeah,
guess what?
they talk about
yes,
it a lot.
she gave it to you. But by the time she gave it to you, but you know, she could have said like, it's my son, I love you. You know, that's why I'm showing you this love. I give you what you asked me. What you give me something like, you know, that I asked you, and now I'm giving you back something that you want. And ça son façon ou ta ka di que moun ta ka expliquer pour dire I love you but li ba zoli. But li montre que li ba ou pa en action. Li font geste ensemble avant pour montrer qui Jacques Raymond, li pas de garder ni prix, li pas de garder ni distance côté la bralia, li pas de garder que ta va payer camionnette ou bien bus pour aller chercher le côté lié, but li montre que déplacer ensemble avant. Prix li pas garder qui gosse qui petit, li juste montre que li ba ou. Ça son grand geste pour le moto que le Raymond, même s'il pas dit I love you.
And another thing I remember, I was talking to a friend of mine. My friend told me, her parents used to say, "Mvo l'école, metratsu, mbo manger pour manger." But they're from Oka, by the way, and I'm not gonna mock anybody from Oka because that's how you guys talk.
I love
they
them.
will go like,
I love them.
"Eh, mvo l'école, mbo manger." I can't even do the accent, by the way. Sauve le bon encore. Like, you know, like the way that she would say it, like when her parents used to do it, she's like, so to them, you know, like it's all about the action because that's how they grew up. They didn't grow up with the words, you know, they grew up to show action. And although there is nothing wrong with that, you know, but I kind of want us to kind of meet halfway, you know, like with him, he's all about action, even with me too, you know. I gotta put that there. But, you know, like, he will show me or he will show our kids, you know, like, you know, he loves, because he likes to do action thing, you know, he likes to just show it to you. And versus, you know, like, seeing certain things, you know, it's hard for them to do it, you know. So this is where we want you parents, or we want you, even adults, not just the parents, you know, like even our great-grandparents that are still alive, you know, or the grandmas, you know, it's okay to do it, you know, like, walk to your kids, tell them you love them, walk to your kids, give them a hug, you know, like, oh God, I'm watching the news and it's just depressing, you know. If you're watching it or you see something that hurts you, walk to your kids, say, you know what, son, I love you. You know what, daughter, like, let me just hug you. You know, they're probably gonna look at you weird, like, why are you hugging me, mom? You know, like, because I know kids do that, teenagers do that. But you know, like, why? Because it's so many people out there right now, they wish they could hug their family, you know, and with what's going on now, you know, people are not being able to visit their kids or family in the hospital. So that's why, to me, saying the words is actually very important. So, not to hold you guys too long, I just wanted to kind of like share that with you, you know, and I wanted to get somebody else's opinion on it to see what they think and just to hear how they feel about it themselves. So now that you guys have seen, he's more about action and me, I'm more about like the words too. Although I do the action, but what really works for us is that we meet each other halfway. So it kind of works, you know, both ways for us, you know. So that's I think it works.
Yes, action and, you know, and word, I would say, because remember that was back then. Now there's a different, okay, there's different right now because yes, I didn't used to get it by like, you know, by word. Now I can say it both ways to my son, to my wife, you know, and my dad and my mom. All the time I send a text message to my mom and, you know, tell her I love you, and she would reply to me, I love you too.
So you see progress.
You know,
we're
but
making
listen,
progress.
this is something like, you know, you did to show her yes, I'm learning something. And now you're learning the way I learned something, I'm teaching my mom, and my mom is learning something from me. You know, something that, you know, she never used to say to me before. Now she's
and maybe she
me.
never even used
Exactly.
to, you know, hear
she
her
didn't
parents
used to,
say,
you know, she didn't used to, and it's not her fault. Dad and mom, hey, this is not your fault. So pas de maman ou papa te kon abduli, elles sont ensemble tout là, so konya la petit ou abduli et wap reply petit ou la donne son bel bagay que li. Elles sont et au senti que au fier de faire ça tout. Okay? So
all right, so I think we're just gonna cut it here, but before we cut it, I love you.
I love you too, baby.
Ew.
Je t'aime.
That was it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Feel free to share your, comments. Tell us what you think. Thank you for another episode with us. Mwah.
Bye.
Love you all.